That's the other thing about Kato. Why I think this hero is just always going to be pretty damn strong right now. The chakra, as you're touching on there with the bristlebacks, and I mean, we've seen several heroes that you kind of don't think about initially, but then you realize, dear God, that's strong. Like there was an Ember Spirit partner in one of these games I remember casting with the Kato, and he was just spamming chakra on Ember Spirit throughout fights, and so he was just sleight of fisting like crazy, spamming Searing Chains, and Remnant of course is, and he kind of it hits you like that's a strong ability, and enhances so many heroes in the game. So Bristleback definitely up there on that list with that cool spam.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think what's Pangalier's cooldown on Shield Crash. Oh, 13. Okay. But even on Swashbuckle, you might be able to get pretty close to double Swashbuckles, which would be pretty gross.
There's a Phantom Assassin ban, Kaban. So what do they need? I don't. They could do several things. I guess a Bristleback offlane Pango mid is what I would expect right now. But
yeah, Pango mid is definitely seems to be like maybe even the most popular way to run the hero at the moment, even over offlane.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've seen a lot more of these mid Pangos coming into light, and again, it goes back to you put him mid, you get some good farm on him early on, early Maelstrom especially, or Basher, or whatever route you go. It's Diffusal in some matchups. It's the damage output with that Lucky Shot proc, Swashbuckle spam. It's intense. So I would assume it's going to be mid here. So probably a safe lane for Kaban in the hands of Skitter. Kunkka, not 100% on the Kunkka mid just yet, although they did pick it up after the Pango. So perhaps they're confident with that matchup and would be fine sending him mid and going to go and offlane themselves last. But actually, yeah, Viper ban coming out from Kaban, so they still assume maybe it is going to be a mid last pick, an offlane Kunkka, I suppose, at that point.
Yeah, I kind of like the look of Weaver here a little bit. Or maybe something that pairs more with Keeper for team fight, like a Sven, for example. But if it is a 5 Bat Rider, then yeah, something that has some sort of stun as your position 1 looks pretty good to me. Unless it's a Pangolier one, which we saw EG run once against Liquid with our TZ Pangolier, which is kind of interesting. But more than likely it's going to be the carry here. Yep, and CK was one that I was thinking of.
Wow, I'm just shocked CK was left that long. CK's a high-tier hero right now, it feels like, several teams, but usually more so in the off lanes. Yeah, it's, man, these 3 cores, I mean, you could you could do quite a bit.
It could be a position 1 bristleback as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be position 3 bristle just because the Caudal bristle can pressure so heavily in that safe lane, or in the enemy safe lane, so as offlane heroes. And CK, you know, he could get a little shut down by the Kunkka cleave if Kunkka's really far ahead, but that would require him to have, you know, at least like a Daedalus to really deal with those illusions. And other than that, Vega doesn't really have any tools to handle a CK Phantasm.
Like a Queen of Pain, like a very mobile, heavy magic burst. She could also deal with the illusions of Chaos Knight somewhat. Brewmaster's okay, Brewmaster was banned. I was really looking through those, so never mind.
They kind of need something to pair with the Grimstroke, it feels like. Right now, it's like, do you care double X? Okay, cool. Like, what does that do?
So they go the offlane. They go the Kizu Darkseer. That final pick.
Yeah, they don't really have anything to pair with the Grimstroke. Kind of weird.
Yeah, Juggernaut. I mean, Juggernaut's decent synergy. Oh, you're talking about Ulta. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about like Inkswell.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty good.
No, for the Soulbind.
Yeah, no, Soulbind. You're right. Yeah, that's really nothing. X is kind of the only thing, isn't it? I guess Rubik like double live. Like there's some things, but yeah, it's nothing. It's not double Doom. It's not, you know, double Chain Frost. Nothing really that big.
Yeah.
And that was the second pick, Grimstroke, too. Yeah, that's right. But that's the thing with drafting. It's just so many things that you're thinking about as far as, you know, you have to worry about what the other team's doing, too, so you can't necessarily just focus on that, but it's unfortunate. So 9's going to be on Pango. He's their mid player. Skitter's the safe lane, and Phobos will be on the off lane Bristle. That's what we have here.
Yep. Makes sense. I think I would favor the Kaban draft. I feel like the Chaos Knight's going to be able to deal with the Darkseer quite easily. I mean, it really feels like you cannot harass CK out of lane. He just lifesteals so much with that new maxing the crit first. That he just really doesn't care about these Ion Shell spam very much. And then they have the Coddle Bristleback combo to pressure the Juggernaut. And there just don't really seem to be any answers for the CK either.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the Juggernaut too into the Bat Rider. I agree. I think Kaban has the stronger draft. You do take a look at the odds, and at least right now it favors Vega, of course, for the overall series, I believe. 1xbet.com, sponsor of said event here. So you can, if you like the odds, you can head on over and place said bets. But it's favoring Vega, but nothing overall. We've seen some pretty drastic odd differences in some of these series, but this one again continues to be even right now. But Vega already beating up 1-0. Of course, more understandable as to why they'd be the ultimate series favorite. But in this game, I agree. I do like Kaban. Their draft, how it came together, the lack of being able to deal with the Chaos Knight. Outside of, I guess, the Ion Shell and maybe some vacuum walls could be okay, but it's definitely not very reliant on being able to clear out these phantasms of the CK. And the fact that he's also a position 1 CK, he does have the chakra assistance on top of that. Yeah, this is a CK that could get out of hand pretty quickly this game.
Yeah, some kind of funky laning setup so far. I think both teams kind of waiting to see what the matchups are. Right now we do have a Bristleback in the mid lane, but I think he's just sitting there waiting to see which lane he should run to.
Musical lanes. We saw a bit of that in game 1. We also saw the early Bounty Rune battle that took place in game number 1. Not going to be in game 2, though. Both teams content on taking the 2 runes in either spot. And it will be the 2-for-2 trade. So Kezu at the bottom. On Darkseer, he is with the Rubik right now.
Yeah, and they're going to do this double Ion Shell kill creep wave before it even gets to the lane.
Yeah, Darkseer, one of these heroes that could still manipulate the lane quite effectively. As exactly called it. Batrider was like, sticky napalm. I don't care. Easy creep wave kill. It's going to push it into the tower. You do have Chaos Knight running down here. So it's going to be a CK Batrider lane. And there's some funky stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot of purpose in this Batrider right now. I guess he's going to be able to just kind of chase Kezu around and try to harass him with Sticky, but for the most part, it's just going to be Skeeter, whatever it is.
Skeeter.
Just sustaining himself with Chaos Strike.
Wasn't that a character in Doug? Skeeter?
Yeah, the blue guy.
Yeah. I've always called him Skitter, but I could go with Skeeter. Old school there. Either way.
I think that's what Grant calls him, a Skeeter. I've never been sure.
I don't know what that means, but
yeah, exactly.
Anyways, middle matchup, the Kunkka versus Pango, and Kunkka's dominating right now. 6-4 against the 1-on-1 Pango. Pango does seem like one of those, as the levels add up, we'll get better, swashbuckle, etc. But in this matchup, at least currently, again, they picked it in response to the Pango, so they like it. And it is working here.
X is quite good against Pango all game. And Kunkka, of course, just has a big damage advantage with the Tidebringer to deny. Pango not with the best base damage.
Yeah, Pango's going to be a little bit better at getting runes, though, as he does right here. Picks up the haste rune. As Batrider rotating over. If I'm looking at the bottom lane right, yeah, CK is literally free in the bottom lane right now. I guess Darkseer is doing some jungling in the meantime with what's going on in the lane. So yeah, Batrider finding himself mid. And CK, he's gonna love how things are going. God, DM, I remember casting Vega on the Valentine Madness as well. DM just spams good game, and it keeps throwing me off. He doesn't have team chat, though, so it's not technically a GG, but stop it. Stop it, DM.
Yeah, I don't really recognize the name DM. He's obviously a newer player for Vega.
Yeah, he replaced Mage, was their former mid.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, about a couple of months now, I want to say. So he's been with them for a little bit in this season, but yeah, he plays some funky heroes too. Like he plays a lot of these strength cores mid sometimes. Like there was an Underlord a couple times he played. It was pretty impressive to watch. But yeah, he'll play the Tidehunter mid, Underlord mid, things like that. I guess Kunkka is a strength hero, so. Oh, top lane, Bexu. Oh, there's the spin. Phobos turning his back, though. The Quill's coming out. He's trying to get the kill on Pexu. At least he gets another Bristleback proc, and now Bristleback himself is running, again, with his back turned. You're not going to get that kill. Was the salve canceled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Salve, yeah, it gives him a little bit of extra health to stay alive. Does get canceled, but it looks like Cinderin has another salve for him. So the dangers of fighting a Keeper of the Light Bristleback demonstrated right there.
What is this about, Coop? He's manning up. Oh, and you know what? It's kind of working. I didn't think it was going to work too well, but it actually does. With the Fade Bolt coming in, that's means Pango's not hitting too hard, of course. And thus he backs off. So nice job by Coop taking control of that Illusion Rune. There was a bottle too on Pango actually, so that's a very effective takeaway.
Yeah, and the Illusion Rune on Pango is extra annoying because each one of your illusions can proc Lucky Shot, so you can like permanently silence people.
Yeah, true.
Disarm them.
KZU going his Helm of the Dominator build as top lane. Phobos will go down this time. There's that Inkswell spin combo. It's definitely pretty classic ever since Grimstroke's been out at least. Sinner cannot dodge the Stroke of Fate, and he eventually will be cut down as well. So a double kill for the team of Vega at the top lane.
Yeah, that's a big deal because the Coddle Bristleback were pressuring heavily early on, but if they die a couple more times, Bristle's going to feel a lot less tanky and much more susceptible to plays like that. Only with 11 CS so far on this Bristle.
Yeah.
That is quite low.
Not where you want to be, buddy. Not where you want to be. Even with that chakra spam coming out from Coddle. Suppose it's definitely not going as well as they hoped for. Yeah, KZU, it's going well for him. Again, he keeps cutting this bottom lane. He's, like I said, going the Helm of the Dominator. As the odds on your screen, I believe that's actually the same as they were at the beginning of the game. So, 1xbet.com there. As Coddle and Grimstroke are just simply trading auto attacks. That was a Hand of Midas purchase, by the way, for Chaos Knight. So, he's been quietly free farming bottom. He's going to have a Hand of Midas now, so we cannot forget about him. Stressed how powerful he potentially will be this game. So, glimmer of hope there for Kaban. And the overall net worth is very even right now. So, yeah, nothing's too out of control. It does seem like Vega Squadron's faring decent in this laning phase. All three cores are farming pretty well. But Pexu, he's trying to run this whole time. Eventually is going to get cooled down, though, by DK Phobos.
That's such a bad feeling as a support. You're like, oh, God,
yeah,
I have stepped a little too close to this Bristleback hero.
I don't even know. Does he have Snot yet? I wasn't paying attention. But either way, yeah, it's hard to get away from him, especially with the Snot, let alone without it. Yeah, he doesn't have it yet. Does he get a level 4? No, he's going to go another level 1 in Bristleback. Oh.
He might be in trouble here.
He is in a lot of trouble. Cinderin's like, Illuminate. Okay, it does actually connect on Madara, but yeah. Bristleback, he ain't having a good time.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of last game, where Cinderin's team picks heroes that want to be aggressive, and then they just die a couple times early, and suddenly that aggression is not nearly as dangerous and more easy to punish.
Cinderin manages to get out. Yeah, it is similar to last game, too, in that the lockdown is a little so-so, I guess, now that I'm really looking at the draft. They do have Lasso. They do have, of course, Chaos Bolt, but that's kind of it. I mean, they have different forms of crowd control, some silences, slows, and the Will-O-Wisp. Actually, you can't forget either. So it's better than last game, I suppose, but it's not the most ideal still. And Skitter, he's in trouble. They're going to wrap on him. Out comes the Inkswell, the boat as well. Skitter, Phantasm pop, though. He dodges the X. He pulls a Reactor Rift with Pexu. He's going to get the turn kill, at least on one. Does it? Oh, my God. Never mind. Solo the Swashbuckle will finish the job, though. But, yeah, that was close. And that's a Phantasm cooldown on top of it all.
Yeah. And this is the hero that is pretty much all the eggs in Kaban's basket. He's just been left completely alone. So that's a really big kill.
In lane 9. Use that roll here and take out DM at least. So gets the one kill. Coop's kind of stuck on that ledge, but now Nine's in an awkward spot as Batrider flies away, but they get the turn kill on Pango. So both mid heroes do fall in that fight there. Madara, yeah, he'll live. Not the most damage from Illuminate coming out. But yeah, Bristleback, of course, you expect him to build heavy auras here. He looks like maybe a Crimson Guard sooner or later. At least going to go Hood of Defiance early at this point. But
Hood, Vanguard, all that good standard stuff. He will be the tank for his team.
Still, with the struggles, though, you don't expect those anytime soon.
Yeah, really, the lone bright spot for Kaban right now is this Chaos Knight who just died. But he does have that super early hand of Midas. He's already level 10 before 10 minutes.
And Pango with the casual Javelin is also pretty good.
Yes, so that's one of the few heroes that really utilizes a naked Javelin.
He is going to Maelstrom, of course. Madara presses R, finds Coddle, easy kill. Ripper's going to be killed at the top lane, though, in the top area, as bounty runes are coming in a couple seconds. 9, he wants it. He's going to get it. Bottles it up. 2 for 2, it looks like. Keizu in the area does have that troll. The net. Okay. A little slow there. Even if he gets the net, though, probably not a kill. Pingo walks it off. Back to the mid lane. Already 100 CS for Keizu. On Darkseer, by the way. Of course, a lot of that's been the jungle, too, but just like the CK, he, too, has been free farming. Oh, but now Keizu's caught. Surge, he cannot get away as he's pulled in by the lasso, tanky, but he is so tanky, and he does survive. Has that vitality booster with the Helm of the Dominator. He's alive.
Yeah, another Phantasm. Well, this time just be used to farm.
Yeah. Not ideal for Mr. Skitter, who I'm being told, and that kind of makes sense, formerly known as Oliver.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was Penta Oliver back in the day.
That's right. Yeah, him and Nine are former teammates.
Mm-hmm.
On the Penta days. Yeah, Nine's a impressive player himself as far as ladder goes. He's one of those top 5 ladder players for times, but hasn't been able to break through on really that tier 1 team just yet.
Well, Juggernaut has a Midas. So Madara, it kind of seems to be this way. Some players just they really believe that this item is the best item to buy, period, on any hero. Not everybody plays like that, but Madara seems to just think that Midas is the item, no matter what you're playing.
Yeah. And whenever I brought that up with Purge and Kyle recently, their reaction was just simply, it's the Battle Fury nerfs is the biggest thing, mixed with the Hand of Midas just getting buffed over time. It's several patches now where it's been getting buffed more and more, and it just eventually took over as the ideal farm tool and the scaling for the game.
I feel like Battle Fury is still pretty good this game against the Chaos Knights. Don't really have the best tools to deal with those illusions, but I suppose if you just rely on the Kunkka and the Fade Bolt, maybe that works out okay.
Honestly, the Yasha Maelstrom build I like a lot. And that's kind of like almost the replacement for if you're not going to go Battle Fury. That feels like it's going to do similar work, and yeah, it'll help clear the illusions in this case. So could have seen that too, but he is going to go to Yasha. It looks like maybe even just the full Manta at this point.
There's a fight brewing in the mid lane.
Oh, Centaur's charging into the back line. What's going on? Although he got the Soulbind up at a couple. The stomp only hits 9, though. Out comes the Will-O-Wisp. The pushback with the Blinding Light. 9's just rolling around with the Rolling Thunder. Pulling with the Reality Rift as well. But Coop, he's still alive, as is Keizu. Finally, they're going to lose Rubik. Off to the side, Pexu's TPing away. No, the lasso stops him, and he's going to be pulled right back in. Keizu at least surging out, but Pango cuts him off. Swashbuckle hitting. No, pulling on a DM now, as Pango lost his life. Yeah. He went in there. Pexu does get taken out by DK Phobos, but yeah, that was Pango maybe a little bit too much committed on the chase.
Yeah, that just goes to show how powerful Keeper of the Light is if you let him go completely unchecked. I mean, Synderen was just standing there on the edge of the fight, throwing out Illuminates and Blinding Lights for the entire time, plus the Will-O-Wisp. Nobody touched him. And sure enough, Kaban takes that team fight despite losing Pangolier on the back end.
See Kunkka losing life, bottom lane. TP though, they do not have a stopper. CK wasn't close enough. However, Dark's here in the area, but we've seen many of times already. He's a tough kill. Oh, he has the Ice Ogre. He's not going to be able to get it away though. It's a good job killing that. But you can see Keizu maybe even wants to prioritize the Ice Ogre. The armor is really good this game, so I can see why he would like to have.
Definitely shuts down CK's damage quite a bit. And we see that DM is going directly for Radiance after picking up 2 bracers. So another tool to deal with the CK illusions and potentially slow down a Batrider Blink, although that is extremely far away. Speaking of Batrider, this is a position 5 Batrider who is going first item boosted travel.
It's position 4 technically. Synderen's on the Coddle.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
I mean, his name is position 4 after all.
That's true.
I figured it would have been obvious there. But the bots, this is a build that I do feel like the support battlers have been playing or building. The couple of times I know Monkey's pretty popular playing that support battler for complexity recently. When he was standing in, he would do this kind of build too.
Oh, really?
So I guess it's just like the mobility. This was like a drums. You move stupid fast.
Right. That does make sense. Yeah, if you're not going to be able to get that blink early on, I suppose having really high movement speed is pretty good.
Yeah, so maybe going that direction. Keizu.
Also, being able to show up to fights. We were kind of talking early on about how heroes are, so having the ability to reinforce anywhere on the map is pretty good.
Roshan just chilling there. This isn't a game. I mean, last game it was a very obvious early Roshan killing team on the side of Kaban at least, but. Both teams could do it. It's not a let's rush Roshan though kind of game. Doesn't feel like, but that potentially could be an objective shortly here. As there's the bots finished on Batrider. Just talking about Chaos Knight. He still leads the way though. Haven't seen him in a bit. I don't know if you can confirm what he has on him.
Yeah, he's got a armlet complete in addition to the Midas. Okay. And one Trez. He's queuing up a heart next, so just really looking to tank up pretty standard items. And, this is a hero that stats do more for than pretty much any other hero in the game.
Ooh, top lane Madara. This is what we talked about, the Batrider interaction with the spin. He goes right through with the lasso, but the damage follow-up very lacking. Madara does have an Omni Slash. Can't TP anymore, though, remember. He may use it defensively, though, as a Will-O-Wisp happens. He cannot get the Omni off. At that point, it probably was a lost cause. So a nice pick in the end from Kaban. Bottom tower, though, going to be pressured by Vega. Trying to capitalize. Here comes the TP support, though, so this is not going to be a free push. Keizu, he does have Vacuum Wall combo. We are going to see the Ion Shell applied. And that's just Batrider. He gets blocked off by the Wildwing Ripper, puts the wall down. It hits the Batrider, but not doing a whole lot here. And Batrider just kind of walks away, flaps his wings. He's good.
Yeah. Heavy commitment for a support Batrider, and they don't even get the kill there. Definitely need to just get out of dodge with the wall being down. Very low mana on Keizu as well.
Bristle. Well, that's just DM running for the creep wave. Putting the X on himself, and it's like, I gotta farm this. He does just that. Going back to the heart choice on Chaos Knight, I'm kind of thinking, like, you're dealing with some good physical damage, really, on the dire side between Juggernaut and Kunkka as their cores. But yeah, I guess you couldn't go like a straight AC. Would that be better value? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I think that just making those illusions as tanky as possible is a pretty good move here. I suppose there would be some merit to going like a Scotty or an Abyssal Blade even to deal with the Juggernaut, but Heart is probably the safest route. Since this game really is all in on the CK being just absolutely massive and being able to win fights by himself.
How about 9, by the way? He's recovered a bit from the mid lane, and he's got the Guardian Greaves around the corner. He's almost got that finished with the Maelstrom, so he's looking pretty good. Look at, okay, Kunkka has a Sacred Relic? Really? So he's going to go Radiance. Pexu?
Yep.
Mid lane, do they have a stopper? Oh, the Will-O-Wisp came out too late from Cinnamon now. Cinnamon himself is in trouble to spin on top of him. Madara, nope, can't get the kill though. Was that a stolen Will-O-Wisp? It looks like it was. That's a dire Will-O-Wisp now. Coming out 9, he rolls out with a Rolling Thunder to kill Rubik, but it won't cost a Soulbind put in place, and 9 just having to stand there. The Omni Slash bouncing around, hit on top of 9. He's got the damage mitigation though. He'll survive actually. The vacuum wall on the back lines. DK Phobos and Skitter both get caught by Madara. He's still trying to spin out. 2-for-1 special so far in favor of Kaban, and they want more. You see the illusions galore. Some of those are Darkseers, but for the most part, the Phantasm of Skitter, however, he is going to need to back off from that tower. Considering how just chaotic that fight was, only having a 2-for-1 really supports going down. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Madara barely got out of there, not quite close enough to use Reality Rift, which has a much lower cast range than it used to. And this is one of the reasons that you see a lot of CKs going for a Blink Dagger, just because this hero is pretty damn immobile otherwise, and being able to bring those illusions with you is a huge benefit of that build. But he's gonna pick up the relic, so CK getting just that much more tanky, over 3,000 life with
Wait,
the Armlet active.
Oh, you mean the Reaver?
Oh yeah,
okay.
sorry, what did I say?
You said, no, you said Relic.
Oh yeah.
And I was
Reaver.
like, wait a second. Radiance, CK? No, but the Radiance Kunkka again. That is definitely a unique choice. It is a nice damage amp for him, though, and of course.
Yeah, and this hero is so damn tanky too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Radiance on DK, which we've been seeing a lot recently, where it's just like you put it on a hero that pretty much cannot die in fights, and he just does a ton of damage with that.
Phobos gonna get X'd back in. He's goes without saying it. Pretty tough kill though. Soulbind is just gonna be thrown out. And double Fade Bolt. That's some pretty good synergy there, I suppose. The Will-O-Wisp in reaction, though. Or wait, is that their Will-O-Wisp still? Was that the dire Will-O-Wisp? It was, wasn't it?
No, that was a Radiant one.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was holding them back. Phobos ran away.
Well, it didn't really do much.
But yeah, that's definitely hard to tell because that's not something that is affected by the Rubik Arcana, so you can't really tell.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, especially since I can't click either. I'm relying on the observer here, so.
Right.
Either way, it's a Will-O-Wisp that didn't matter in that case. They got the 2 kills. They're going to get the tower kill mid, and Radiance is now finished on Kunkka. So it goes back to he's already kind of naturally tanky. He's now going to be hitting very hard, and the Radiance burn fantastic against the CK. So it's although a different pickup here from DM, it does make sense when you kind of break it down.
Yeah, full Crimson card is finished on Darkseer. Just a little item update. Aether Lens on the Cube Rubik. And like you said, there is a drums on the Batrider as well, so.
Okay.
Boots Travel Drums, heading in for Blink Dagger next.
Yeah, especially with the drums buff. For the individual movement speed, at least. He's again, you see him just flying around right here. Going pretty fast. The Heart finished on CK, and they're going to smoke for Kaban. 4,200 life on CK, by the way, with that armlet toggle. Dear God. They're hunting. They find Keizu, not the best target in the world. In fact, he's already surging away. Gets back in with the lasso. Pull back in, that is. Soulbind in the backline. Casey is melting. Can he get a wall off or something? He gets a wall up at the last second of the vacuum. As well, he's going to survive on top of that. The Crimson card. He's staying alive, baby. The surge away once again. And now Phobos cut down by the Omni Slash. No, he bounced over to the Illusion. And it stopped. Not the greatest Omni Slash of the century. He's going to spin on top of the CK, though. Skitter, he was tanky going into this. He's lost a good chunk of life, though. Doing the armlet toggle, the Will-O-Wisp. It's going to lock down Juggernaut somewhat. He's going to beat down the Will-O-Wisp, though. Rolling Thunder connects, though. And Madara, the Will-O-Wisp is still up. Madara wanted that kill. He finally takes it out, but it took a lot longer than he expected. As a shield slam in his face, down goes Madara. That's 4 dead on the side of Dire. Make it a 5th as DM was just kind of chilling in the back lines, doing what he can, dealing with Pango and the Bristleback, and not too well. And that means Roshan is maybe? No, they're not going to go for it. But either way, they completely clean up in that fight.
Yeah, I did not think it was going to go that well when they weren't able to finish off Keizu initially, but I guess it just goes to show that Vega doesn't really have any damage right now. I mean, even the Kunkka with Radiance, he's kind of on the edge of the fight, so not applying the Radiance burn the whole time. And Madara's Juggernaut just doesn't really have a whole lot of contribution to these team fights at the moment. Just a Manta and Midas.
Well, yeah, I mean, Madara, he pressed Omni Slash, he got a couple bounces on a Bristleback and then the Illusion, and then he spent a good 10 seconds trying to kill Will-O-Wisp. So, like, his usefulness that fight was very, very small. You talked about Kunkka and kind of just found himself zoned out. Radiance Burn not that effective. It was a very awkward fight for Vega. That goes back, I mean, that was a smoke initiation from Kaban, and so clearly Vega was not ready.
Yep, great first fight with that heart, and right afterwards, Skitter picks up a Blink Dagger. So this CK is a absolute beast right now.
And Diffusal coming for Pango.
Oh man, and they put the Aegis on the Bristleback. So how do you kill this side of Kaban? You've got the 4.3k HP CK. You've got the Bristleback with Hood, Crimson, and an Aegis. And then Pango and Coddle are both extremely elusive as well.
And this isn't a heavy burst team. This is a team that's...
not at all.
I mean, if you went like the Shadowblade Daedalus build, then yeah, maybe, but he's not. Again, Radiance, it's more of sustained damage here from Vega. So that goes back to where the health is an issue. In terms of being able to deal with that, obviously the regen will kick in the longer the fight happens. So yeah, it's seeming like it's gonna get tougher and tougher for Vega as this moves on. And there's the Diffusal that I was talking about. Talk about some good synergy again. I'm sure he'll follow this up with like a Basher.
Oh yeah, on the Pango. Good. Yeah, Diffusal is an interesting pickup on this hero because so much mana so quickly. You can completely choose through like a Kunkka's mana pool or a Juggernaut's mana pool and render them relatively useless in these fights if you get a couple of stock buckles off.
Absolutely. Bristleback trying to finish a Solar Crest. Alright, I'm going to clear my throat there. Juggernaut, Maelstrom, Mjolnir will happen now. So he does eventually get the whole Yasha Maelstrom and now full Manta style. Gonna go the Mjolnir, which again you're dealing with a CK. They have the Radiance. Mjolnir will help, but it goes back to just how big he is. And does he get more? What's his level 20 talent? Isn't that the Reality Rift piercing?
Yeah, I think in this matchup you have to go that, especially you're getting, pretty close to being 6-slotted.
Yeah. It's one, at least one, maybe a couple more items.
Yeah, a couple more items, but at the same time, like I think that in a lot of matchups, but specifically against the Jug and the incoming BKB from Kunkka, you're gonna want that.
Yeah.
Reality Rift pierces.
Your mic's cutting out a little bit, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Gotta speak into it.
I'll get a little closer.
Rubik, he's trying to build a Spirit Vessel. Is that really... I suppose it's okay, this game, in the sense of regen. God, speaking of that, there was one game. Who did it? Somebody was playing a Bristleback and went a Holy Locket early on.
A Bristleback with Holy Locket?
Yeah. It didn't make a lot of sense because of how the... but at the same time, maybe...
Do you think he was playing Timbersaw?
No. Well, yeah, I guess that's possible, yeah. Timbersaw is a hero that you can actually value it on, but... Just like the natural regen, I suppose, but it was kind of funky to see. I'm not saying we'd see that here, but
yeah, weird. I mean, maybe if you went like Greaves or something like that, it would make a little bit more sense.
But point I was going back to with the Spirit Vessel pickup from Rubik, it doesn't feel like it's like a crazy strong Spirit Vessel game. Still good to have. But.
Yeah, not necessarily in terms of the removal of healing. It's more so just the sheer HP pool of heroes like the CK and the Bristleback that the percentage-based damage becomes very good against. And also potentially just delaying the heart regen if Skeeter kind of is able to disengage for a little bit to try and get that regen off.
That's true. I got Solar Crest finish. So going back to the discussion earlier of the build of Chaos Knight going the hard and you're dealing with physical, so maybe mitigation would be better. Well, he has a Crimson Guard partner. He has a Solar Crest now potentially. Do they have a Vlad's, by the way? I don't think they have a Vlad's. They could really use a Vlad's on the Radiant side too.
Yeah, there's no Vlad's. That's very bizarre.
Yeah, that's an oversight for sure, because the synergy is really good this game, and the armor buff, etc. But either way, oh, we have an engagement. Batrider, who did he find? Lasso, he's going to be lifted up anyways. He found DM, but gets lasted up. Soulbind coming in response to DM. He's still being beat down by the Chaos Knight Phantasm. He goes down to Willow. It's hitting all 4 heroes, by the way. The Shrine is popped, but it's eventually going to wear off. Goes for the Omni Slash, but there's just so many freaking units. It does little damage from Madara. He's trying to beat down Skitter and the Illusions, but he's being kited this whole time. Batrider eventually goes down to a Mjolnir proc, it looks like, and the Dire team kiting themselves, but Kunkka just simply gets surrounded. It's a 2-for-1, again, favoring Kaban. As farmed as Madara's been this game, as Coop also gets picked, he's feeling so useless in these fights.
Yeah, he just does no damage. he literally is doing nothing. He presses Omni Slash and then runs away. And, I mean, the CK, he's just too damn tanky.
Yeah.
Did they lose the gem, by the way? Because Batrider had the gem going into that engagement. Somebody pick it up?
Okay, you'd have to tell me.
Coddle does have it, yeah.
Okay. So, Coddle with the gem still, as they're pushing Tier 3. Yeah, no more Aegis, though. Resurrections are happening from Vega. Sieging on this Radiant team is not great. With CK has his illusions up, it'll be better, but without that, they don't really do the craziest building damage.
Yeah, that definitely is one lack in their draft, is that, like you said, they just don't really have a very easy way to push towers. I mean, you can kind of go up and hit with CK, but without the illusions, he doesn't do that much damage, and you are into a Kunkka, into a Vac Wall, into Rubik, Stroke of Fate, so Vega has really good stall tactics if it does come down to that.
Chaos Knight hits level 20. Did he go the reality? I don't think he did he? I think that's a left talent.
Yeah, he went for the gold GPM.
Okay. Was it 180?
GPM.
150, okay.
Yep. And maybe just recognizing that, yeah, they are having some troubles actually ending this game despite being 11k up right now. And it does feel like they can't really just push high ground even with that lead.
Yeah, when you're a core, especially position 1 in this case on CK, passing up 150 GPM talent is pretty tough, I'm sure. So he is going to go for the AC. There you go. That's a bit of help as he has the BKB now finished as well. This dude's going to be nearly 5,000 life by the time he's 25 with that armlet toggle and with an AC on top of that and a BKB. It's like broken record here about Vega Squadron. Where the hell is the damage going to come from? And I kind of look back at Kunkka's build though, and maybe hindsight to say now, but the Radiant Spurn is nice in theory, but I feel like the Shadow Blade, even a Silver Edge would have been fantastic this game, by the way, on top of the whole Daedalus build. Might have just made more sense.
Yeah, they are just very all in on this sort of sustained damage, which seems to be like exactly what Kaban is countering with their itemization and heroes.
Yeah.
Shiva's Guard is actually queued up for DM next, so not prioritizing getting any sort of burst damage whatsoever.
Shiva's Guard, really? Okay. They are dealing with the CK illusions. That's the theme here. It's like, okay, you guys are doing that somewhat, but
doesn't Daedalus do that anyway?
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Roshan is up. Smoke play from Vega. This is almost a, let's see what we can make happen here, and perhaps the game will be telling then. But 5-man smoke eventually going to be exposed. They are doing Roshan, not the fastest. Here's a run in. Cinderring going to be the target choice. Can they kill him before Will-O-Wisp? It looks like it.
Caught.
Yeah, he could not get it off in time, and they're going to get the Batrider as well as Soulbind holding him in place. However, Grimstork gets picked up. A buybacks immediately. The TP's coming in. Skidder, he pops a BKB at the vacuum wall, but Skidder just holding his ground. The Torrent hits as well. After BKB is still up, though. Phobos got thrown in the air. The Omniside just bouncing around, but like we've said so many times, the damage just is not nearly enough. Madara's locked down with the Abyssal Blade, it looks like, on top of him. Trying to do what he can, but it's not going to be enough. Double kill coming out for Skidder. Buyback on Juggernaut. Everyone just buying back. Batrider, he is staying dead, though, and Chaos Knight eventually does go down in the midst of the fight. He has a buyback, holding on to it, however. Pango swashbuckles away, and he's going to keep on running. So the Radiant team is starting to retreat now as the fight happened there. 9, ooh, he is going to survive barely as DK Phobos being spun on. It's not going to be enough damage, though, but the pull in as, yep, they did kill Pango. And Bristleback eventually is killed too. So Vega Squadron, they actually had the last laugh in this fight. Granted, they used a lot of buybacks. And that's a dieback on Center if he goes down too.
Yeah, it's going to be Roche as well, over to the Jug, who did use his buyback. So,
I mean, Coddle's the perfect target to find and kill before at Will-O-Wisp. So,
yep.
That was the key to the fight as far as the initially. Now, again, they did use 3 buybacks, including Juggernaut.
True, but they just got the Aegis on the Jug and 2 diebacks, actually, for Kaban. So that was a 11, 12K net worth lead, down to 4K now.
That was quite.
And remember, the buyback bounty, or the buyback penalty was removed a few patches ago, so they got full value for getting all of those kills.
True. Yeah, that was a good change. Incentivized buybacks a bit more. And Tier 3 tower is going to go down. Mentioned Pango still has 10 more seconds. Coddle's going to be a good 40. So this should be the Rax kill at least. Maybe?
Yeah.
Madara is spinning.
I don't know if they want to fight this.
Yeah, fighting with 3 heroes, not the best plan. They lose Batrider. Skidder is tanky, but if he's collapsed on himself, as 9 though, the backline's now with DK Phobos, so with Pango back up. Skidder goes down though? Yes, he has to buy back. He buys back immediately. He still has Phantasm, so they're going to save the melee racks for the time being, by the way. Never mind. Vega Squadron turns his attention and does get that kill. 9 though, shield crash in the face, pull back up with the Exo, Torrent lifted in the air. Skidder is back in with the Phantasm pop. They do pick up Grimstroke. Casey holding what he can. We're out of here pulling though, but he's tanky, has a Crimson Guard. Can he survive through this? The AoE surge comes out, but he's pulled right back in and does go down. Madara, if he dies here, that's a dieback, remember, and be careful. Okay, well, that's going to be an Aegis at least. DM is also going to go down, and now Juggernaut, he's coming up spinning. TP? They don't have a stopper, do they? Nope, they did. The Bash proc. Oh, my gosh. The Bash proc hits. And Madara, this is going to be a dieback officially. 115 seconds. And here comes the push from Kaban.
Wow. Yeah, just overstaying their welcome a little bit. I thought that potentially Kaban was just going to feed away the game there with Skidder going down, but the buyback of the Phantasm coming off a cooldown.
Wait, Bristleback has an Ags. The hell?
He's going for the AoE goo to reduce.
I like it.
Armor and keep everybody close to the Chaos Knight. Keizu.
Well, and that's good. Yeah, it's Keizu. That's a tieback on him. Kunkka. Again, he used a buyback for this. He just popped his BKB to live. And he's running. Kaban might be able to finish.
Over?
Yeah. No, again, their building hitting is fairly weak. That's the one thing. And Phantasm's on cooldown for 50 seconds. They're going to go right for Tier 4. I like it.
Yeah.
Why delay? But
yeah, this is the Kunkka without the ability to really spam them down with Daedalus, right? So he wants to be in the fight, but that's usually only when there's 5 heroes up.
Now look at Skidder. The Spirit Vessel is doing some work here. He's getting low. I mean, he actually has to run away, so they're not going to be able to. Well, I guess they still have 30 seconds for Juggernaut.
Yeah, 60 for Darkseer as well. I mean, they're chipping at these towers. They're chipping, but Spirit Vessel is doing a lot of work.
Soul binds up more so for the slow than anything, but Coop, he's locked down. The Abyssal play, they do end up killing the Grimstroke, staying in for 50. Turn their attention back to the tier 4, though. Out comes the fortification. So they have Madara coming up, but is that even enough at this point? I don't know if it is.
No, probably not.
There's the Phantasm. He jumps in. He's going to go for the kill on TM. TM's dead. Die back on him. Madara jumps into the midst of them. He's going to end up going down, and that will officially do it. GG, well played. Kaban takes game 2. Thus, we have a game 3 on our hands.
That was an interesting one. Those last 5 minutes were a whole lot of deaths that seemed maybe a little bit over-aggressive.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it comes back to he got a 5-minute, 30-second hand of Midas, something like that. And they just really had no tools to deal with the CK. CK is one of those heroes that if you don't specifically counter it, it will solo carry games.
I mean, you look at this graph here at the end, too. In Vega Squadron, talk about throwing away some chances. They push that mid, and I'm with yeah, it's hard to kind of blame them because, again, at the moment, it seemed like that was going to be an overstep from Kaban, but it was one of those that we either win here or this is it for us here kind of plays. And they ended up winning that fight just barely, it felt like, and getting that bash proc on Juggernaut. If that doesn't happen, you know, that push never happens from Vega or from Kaban, and then all of a sudden this game's still happening. So a little bit of RNG, sure, but ultimately a victory for Kaban. And goes back to a game 3 as a result. You mentioned the CK. They just did not have enough in the long run to deal with him and cast around him as well.
Yeah, kind of comes back to just the lack of damage there, right? Like, I mean, they took the fight, and it just didn't seem like it just took them forever to kill stuff. They had to expend so many resources, so their heroes were just slowly getting chipped down, running out of mana, and then it ended up just being Madara against the world, loses the Aegis, of course, that bash proc, sealing the deal there pretty much.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go on the break. Our first of 3 best of 3 is coming at you here for the Tug of War Radiant Tournament, brought to you by WePlay. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Elevated. We got game 3 of our first series, Vega Squadron taking on Kaban. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.